everyone, welcome to this week's episode of Curated with Cassie, coming to you from my front door. I too, like everyone else, am on lockdown, but I have put together a brilliant episode which features me doing some gardening, something I never thought I'd do. I have a chat with one of Ireland's top garden designers, Leonie Cornelius, who gives me some top tips. So if you have a garden, you'll get some top tips for that. And I also try out a murder mystery online with my friends, which is something you can do at night during this lockdown. Enjoy. So this week I have decided to do my garden. It's overgrown, it looks okay, but I'm gonna make it look a lot better, or try and make it look a lot better. I know there's a lot of dedication that goes into it, so what I've decided to do is get in touch with garden designer Leonie Cornelius. Such a fantastic name. Anyway, I'm gonna ask her for tips and advice because I am a novice, I'm a beginner, so hopefully she can help me out. I have a feeling she's gonna tell me to start with cutting the grass. So this should be fun. I recently started following you, which my boss put me in touch with you, which is very exciting. You're a very well accomplished gardener, so I'm sure if I was into my gardening, I'd know so much more about, I recognize you because you write articles. You're also an award-winning gardener. Like, I didn't even know, not that I didn't know that was a thing, but I mean, it's quite impressive.
You. So yeah, it's more the garden design side that I got into it from, architecture first and then garden design. And I studied that back in, I think I graduated in 2011. And ever since I've kind of built up my own design business and through Bloom in the Park, and I did an RHS garden as well, not Chelsea, but Chelsea and Bloom. Just had so much fun doing it. And yeah, won a few awards too, which is always good, but not the most important thing.
Yeah. Well, I say at the moment, are you getting a lot of people reaching out to you? Because, me, for example, I found myself in my house more than I thought I would be. And I haven't really ever noticed how many plants are in this. I'm very lucky. I live in my grandparents' old home. So they used to have this garden. It was beautiful, but now it's not, because I obviously don't think others. So I'm wondering, are there loads of people kind of reaching out to you now? Are you seeing a few comments and things like that, asking for a little bit of help?
Yeah, it's funny. I think people are still very much at the start of kind of, dealing with everything that's going on.
Yeah.
But there are people reaching out. There's people interested in really connecting with nature. And I think that's something that's really happened over the past 2 weeks even. People are suddenly starting to notice their gardens and go, wow, how important are our gardens to us right now? They're starting to go out because they need the green, and we all need the green. And gardens are so good for you. So, they're so healthy and so rejuvenating. So, I mean, every time we get out there, life feels normal, which is amazing and exactly what we need right now,
Yeah, that's true. I think actually that's what I found is lovely about it when I'm out there. I'm kind of, not that I'm out there for ages, but you're just there. And yesterday I picked some flowers. I turned into a completely different person. I picked flowers from my garden. Never thought I'd do that. I am just appreciating it. So, which is why I wanted to get in touch, because I wanted to do this segment about, I'm looking at my garden right now. That's why I keep looking up about, obviously I can't change the whole thing. It depends how long we're locked up for. Maybe I could, but what for me, wanting to do like a segment like this, I've sent you some pictures. You can see that it's a decent sized garden, but if we can just focus on the smaller area, so it makes it a little bit of an easier task for me. Starting off, what's your first tip for me?
Yeah, so at the moment you're totally right. It's hard to, buy flowers or nobody's doing construction work, or, so it's kind of, you're in your garden and you're looking at it, and it's a great chance to do it with fresh eyes. So there's no pressure. You're not going to get somebody in tomorrow to start work on it, which is kind of bad and good. So I would say the first thing to do is look at it through fresh eyes. Sit out, relax, have a look at what areas have beautiful sun. Where do you want to sit? Where would you like to have big loungers? Or, what do you feel would really be beneficial in the garden? And you have time to do that right now. You have time to sit out and have your cup of tea or coffee out there. That's the first thing. Look at it through fresh eyes. Then the second thing, what I probably say, is look at wildlife. So, that's something that's becoming more and more important, is allowing wildlife in. We share our gardens with wildlife. So to wild it up a little bit, and to go easy on yourself. You don't need to start mowing straight away and start perfecting everything and all of that kind of thing. It's like, no, a little bit of natural is good. So take your time. if you're tempted to tidy up, don't go too crazy. Leave a little bit of a mess. So if you want to clean up, tidy up, make sure those branches don't get thrown out, or have a little corner that's wild. So you'll be amazed that, there'll be habitats for hedgehogs and beetles and all the really important things that live in our gardens. So leave a little corner wild is always really good advice when you kind of at the start of it.
Okay.
I saw in your pictures that you have some really cool plants there actually, and you can't really see them at this time of the year because they're not out.
I can't see them at any time of year. Are there nice? I can see a few, like there's daffodils. That's nice. And then there's some purple ones. I don't know. They are.
I didn't see the purple ones, but I know there's some lovely hydrangeas, and you can take cuttings from them. And the roses as well. You have roses, you were saying. So taking cuttings now and putting them in other places in the garden, as long as they have the light conditions that they need. So hydrangeas can take, I'll send you the picture afterwards.
Okay, yeah.
They can take shade. So they'll thrive in the shade. So if you have a shady spot, you can put them in there. And it's literally, you're taking a little cutting off the plant, and there just needs to be a little bit of a node on it where the leaves come out. And what I do is I put it about 5 centimeters into the ground, or you can put them into a vase of water. And they start rooting so easily. So you can suddenly have loads of them, and then next year you'll have beautiful shrubs all over the place. So
okay. So that's something I can kind of, instead of going out and buying seeds and things like that, I can actually plant with what I have.
Exactly.
Once I know what a hydrangea is, I'll Google it. I'm kind of looking around my garden going, that sounds fantastic. So just make sure that it's getting the right light and things like that. So am I mowing the whole lawn realistically, or just am I going to leave a patch for the wildflower things?
What you could do is you could put wildflower seeds in with it, plug it into the ground all over the place, and then mow a pathway through it. You could even do a curved pathway through it or something like that, which means you're not like maintaining, and you'll have loads of bees, loads of butterflies. So you could go totally wild and then mow a pathway,
And then if you do that, then obviously you can just go back and mow it all again, can you?
Absolutely, yeah.
Exactly. You can have fun with it.
Yeah, exactly. And there'll be loads of colour, and if you get sick of it then at the end of the season, just...
Okay, cool. Yeah, you know what? I didn't even think of it, because my grandma kind of had it laid out where she did have a bed for, there used to be roses in it, right in the middle, but and I used to just mow around it. But maybe I'll just kind of make a bigger bed, essentially, and then just a little walkway. Is that probably the best suggestion if you're someone who isn't really going to be able to look after or maintain too much? Okay, good.
And it does. I think not cutting the lawn and making it beautiful with wildflowers isn't just good for us, it's good for wildlife too. And then I think adding a little bit of something into the beds that is good for pollinators as well is really important. So you'll see on a lot of the seed packets at the back, there's, the pollinator friendly tag on it. And that's really important. So you could add in flowers that are absolutely gorgeous. You could put in some foxgloves or, things that come up and spire through what you have. And maybe a few grasses, but you can sow all them from seed if you have patience and time, which now suddenly we have loads of time.
So if anybody out there wants to get in touch, they can get in touch with you on Instagram and everything like that. How does that work?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, the lot, but Instagram mostly. And my website, leoniecornelius.com. Simple.
So this is what we're dealing with. A lot of sticks. A lot of leaves. Some flowers. Some clothes, because it's a perfect day for the washing. More sticks, more leaves. Plants in a pot. Lawnmower needs petrol before you start using it, just so you know. Also, a great workout if you're stuck at home is pulling that thing. It's but do it on both arms, maybe do about
30 minutes on each arm. Stunning by the end of it. I'm wrecked. Another top tip when it comes to gardening, don't wear white Converse. Well, there's a reason why everyone doesn't garden. It is exhausting. But I actually am really enjoying being outside. It's kind of quite relaxing, even though it's a lot of work. Before I got started on this garden, what I did was a few days ago, I actually went around and had a look at what flowers were here. And I made a bunch of flowers using Crate Flowers tips on how to make a bunch. So basically it's all about greenery, then your filler flowers, and then your masterpiece flower. So have a look at this. I'm gonna get back to work. So for today's activities, I am going to go around my garden and make a bunch of flowers from the flowers that I have here in my garden. There's not many, but there's a few. Okay, so I can see a nice daffodil there. See, that's pretty nice. Looks like looks a little bit dead, but that's gonna work. Let's see here. I don't know what these things are, but stunning. They'll be perfect. Matter of fact, get in the bag. The greenery first. Cute. These are the fillers, flower fillers. I guess more flower fillers, or are these the main fillers? Who knows? Anyway, they're going in. And that's how you make a bunch of flowers with flowers in your garden. So there you have it. If you want to make a bunch of flowers in your garden, you can make one. I have to say, I'm really appreciating having a garden at the moment. I'm very, very grateful for it, even though I've spent most of my time cleaning it. As you can see in the background, you can see all the leaves in the corner and all that stuff there. I'm just taking a break now. Gardening is tough work. I think I'm going to catch up with Leonie in a few weeks to show her what I've done, because as I've said before, it does take time. So for now, I'm going to get back to my break. Bye. Now from outside to inside, I've been spending a lot of time inside lately, and I've been spending a lot of that time playing quizzes online with my friends, which has been loads of fun. One thing I haven't played but I've heard loads about is murder mysteries. So you can play them online with video apps, which apparently is loads of fun. I know one of the creators here in Ireland, her name is Fiona Sherlock, and she's going to chat me through some of the games, and also I'm going to get some friends and we're going to give it a go. I don't understand.
Down to right. Now we must decide who will go down.
I'm Fiona Sherlock, and I am the creative director at Bespoke Murder Mystery.com. I'm a writer from Meath, and I specialise in creating murder mystery games, and I'm also a writer, so I've just signed a 3-book deal with Poolbag for quirky crime fiction.
So nice and busy. Fiona, I just find it so interesting because everyone knows what a murder mystery is. Some people are massive fans. I am always terrified of them because I never really know how to play, but some of my best friends absolutely love them. I'm just wondering were you always interested in murder mystery? Was that always a thing?
So we decided to host a party ourselves about 4 years ago, and I just couldn't really find any games to play that I liked myself. So I just said, okay, I'll just write one. And had a great time. We had so much fun, and we went for an Orient Express themed party, and we brought together a lot of different people. Like my husband and I weren't together that long, so we had his friends and my friends, and it was so fun from everybody to turn around being quite nervous and shy and polite introductions two people like slamming each other up against the wall, casting like all sorts of accusations at total strangers. So it was so much fun. And then after that, people asked me could they use that game, and then I just said I would trial selling them on Etsy, and that was about 4 years ago, and they've taken off then. So they're quite popular amongst Americans and the Irish diaspora really around the world. Because there weren't really other games that had that kind of like Irish setting or that Irish flair for the characters.
Because you have a few things that are like set in castles and things like that. Do you?
Yeah, so one of my bestsellers is Murder at Stackallan Castle, and it's meant to be like the classic epitome of a Downton style, Gosford Park murder mystery set in Ireland. So we play up the Irish characteristics a little bit on that one.
So obviously Americans love it too.
Yes, but it's very popular here as well and it's actually my own personal favorite game to play and every time I play it, I always play like a different character, and I always have a ball because I designed it specifically so that when we play that we don't have to, it's not like, you're taking part in a play. It's very conversational. So everybody has a few lines to read, but ultimately you're meant to like figure out the details from conversation. So it lends itself well, like for Irish people, I think it works well because it's conversational and it's not too pressurized to perform.
Okay, great. Okay, that was going to actually be one of my questions. So you don't have to be an actor or anything to do this with your friends. It's basically just having a laugh and having, the chats.
Absolutely, and the most important thing really is just that you have fun, and that you're kind of the people who are taking part are up for it, because some people can be self-conscious, but it's funny, and the feedback that I often get is usually the people who are the most reluctant to take part or the shy people end up really coming out of their shell because they're not themselves. They might be, an Italian artist, or they might be like, a disenchanted antique dealer. So they're not themselves. And that's where it's really rewarding to see those people come out of their shells.
Brilliant. So you do get lots of great feedback, and obviously over the times that we're kind of having now, which is why I definitely wanted to play it and try it at home. Have you been getting some reaction about how it's been working, on lockdown essentially?
So it seems that it's translated, the games, the way that they're formatted, translate quite well over to the Zoom format. Now, look, we all know that, video calls, they're never going to be the same as real life. They just won't be. But in so much as they can, create that contact, that kind of opportunity to engage with your friends in an unusual way, people seem to be enjoying the escapism of it. So that, you can put on whatever. Do you have a Deb's dress upstairs? Does your boyfriend have like a tux upstairs? Throw on some makeup, make a cocktail, make a bit of an occasion of it. And you're not just mummy behind the computer in the kitchen.
Yeah.
You become, the Earl of Stackallan, or the Dowager Countess, or, a Patrina Fox, a social climbing PR executive. So that escapism seems to be fitting quite well with the mood at the minute.
Which is, I think that's the kind of fun part of it as well. And can anyone play?
I would say anyone can, as long as they're mild, mostly literate.
Okay, great.
Games for kids and
Okay, so they're separate for kids. So you kind of like, for the adult ones, you kind of just stick to your group of friends or whatever.
Yeah, well, I mean, I have games that would suit different audiences. So some are suited to be played by adults, but say they won't have like sexual content. They won't have, mentions smoking marijuana or anything that's, not considered clean. So they can still be played by adults, but they're also suitable for children. And workplaces as well, because I've had a few workplaces in lieu of their usual Thursday night out to murder mysteries, and they might want, Josie from accounts having an affair with the CEO. And sometimes in families, people might like to avoid those affairs and kind of.
Okay, so can you see that on is there kind of like a summary? Can you see okay?
That's all.
So thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Get in touch.
And for anyone, where do they go to find everything for anyone who's interested in getting one of these mystery games, murder mystery games? That's difficult to say. Or do they go to your Instagram, or what's the best way?
So if people want to download a murder mystery game, they just log on to bespokemurdermystery.com, and that'll have all my tips there for hosting on Zoom, and a link to all of my games in my Etsy shop.
Amazing. Fiona, thank you so much.
Thank you, Cassie.
I can still hear them playing downstairs. So, it's a lot of fun, easy to do, and you can play with up to 20 players or something like that. So if you have a chance, give it a go. Murder Mysteries, Fiona Sherlock is her name, and she has them all available on Etsy. I'm going to put it up on screen now, but it's really good fun, so get some friends together and do it. You've got a decent amount of time, so no excuses. Well, there you have it. I'm not the best gardener. I'm not the worst gardener. I'm also not the worst at playing murder mystery games. That was a lot of fun, so if you have a chance, do go check those out. Next week, I'm going to be trying out some interesting food pairings. So I think the worst I've heard so far was cheese and banana on a sandwich. So you have that to look forward to. And I may dye my hair pink. Anyway, I can see some washing in the background of this video, so I'm going to go do that. Goodbye.